Good evening, good evening. The hero of the hour is in the house.
Daddy's home, boys.
Daddy's home, boys. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Friday? Beautiful day here in San Diego. Sun's still shining. What's going on in your hood? Of course, I gotta go say hello to everybody tonight. Wow, it's loud out there. See, I live by the beach and I can hear people on the strip. Well, first off, let me say my buddy Jeff's on deck. He was the first one. Let's get our hang on. Happy Friday, everybody. Well, thank you, sir, for that. And I'll tell you, Jeff, sir, just got back from the post office and I shipped out to you a autographed Frightbite poster. Oh, let me get your chat off there. Signed by Dahlia Dark and Count Cracula. It's finally on the way. And I also have a t-shirt in there. So both of your prizes, sir, did go out today, and you should have it by Tuesday, they're saying. And David Carrasco, I don't know if he's in the house tonight, but I also got his poster out as well. So sorry it took so long, but it looks like I'll be scratching a few IOUs off my list. But if you're wondering what the reason for these guys' winnings, it has to do with Dahlia Dark, and it has to do with her Wheel of Misfortune. If you're not familiar, it's
Wheel of Misfortune.
yeah, Dahlia's got this wheel that's got a bunch of not good prizes on it, but then there's a couple good ones. And the autographed Frightbite poster has been won. That's not even for sale yet. You could only win it. Same with the shirt. I did have some Stephen Pearcy donated some Top Fuel Records t-shirts that are like extra larges, and I'm a medium now. So I decided I was going to give those away too. So nobody won those on the last show. This goes down Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The Frightbite, the super chats get to spin Dahlia's Wheel of Misfortune at the end of the show, and it's a lot of fun. And we update the bad things that are on there too, just to keep everybody involved. But tonight is the Unleashed Live Hangout, and I'm super stoked. We got a good amount of peeps here tonight, and I thank everybody for coming back. If you're wondering where this picture is from, I found this on a hard drive today, but this is the actual picture before I threw it into Canva. And I think I don't even know how many years ago this is. But I'm looking at it's a motel, clearly, that I'm in. And can you guys guess, like, what motel that is I'm in? Can you guess by the curtains? Can you guess by the size of the room? My guess is, as I'm looking at it, I think it's either a Best Western or a Super 8. What do you guys think? I don't even know for sure, to tell you the truth, but that's where I got that from tonight. But let me jump in and start talking to you folks. Oh, what do we got going on? Scuff. I'll have to catch this later. Going to see Eddie Trunk do his Q&A show tonight. Well, that's cool. Give Eddie our regards. Where's he doing a Q&A, I wonder? Does that have to do with the cruise? I know the cruise just docked. One of the cruises. Spicoli, we're going to the moon, dude. Hold on, Spicoli. Let me give you some love tonight.
Hey, bud. Let's party.
I know that, dude.
What are you people? On dope?
Well, anybody thinking that we're going to the moon's definitely on dope. Let me see. I don't have a moderator, so it takes me a minute to figure out what's going on here. Kevin Smith, hey, chat. Well, good to have you, Kevin. What do you got? Oh, Kevin's got a music suggestion for everybody tonight. Erik, song suggestion, The Invisible Countdown by the Terror Maze. 3 solos and hooks and melodic for 8 minutes. Wow. The Invisible Countdown. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Sounds cool. Well, hey, check it out, everybody. Oh, a Super Carrot Marsha B's in the house. Look at the boys coming out early for the hangout. That's right. I probably have more boys than girls because I'm not really that good looking, but Trucker, loving these Friday Night Live videos. Hello from Toronto, home of Rush and Triumph. Oh man, I loved Rush growing up, and one of my favorite Rush songs, one of the first ones I liked was "Spirit of Radio." Was like my favorite one when I was a little kid, and one of the first riffs I had to learn on guitar. That intro thing. I don't know. I always loved playing that. It was super fun. And yeah, Alex Lifeson, awesome guitarist. The pride of Canada, right? Rush. Spicoli, too much, too much. I took too much, bro. Hey man, don't take so much, Spicoli. Well, he took so much, he's giving some back. Fired up, dude. Yeah, Spicoli likes to donate to my weed fund. I appreciate that. Trekker, I saw you and Steven at Falls View, Niagara. Did you know about Vince Neil's condition, and will he be playing with Sebastian instead? Well, Vince is out playing. Some of the first shows that he did was when we were out with Bret Michaels this past summer, or summer of 2025, I think. And it was Bret Michaels, Vince Neil, and Stephen Pearcy, and it was the first shows Vince did after announcing that he had some kind of, health condition there. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't want to misspeak on it. But yeah, everybody was, stoked that he got back out there, and I think he's still playing. And Motley did their residency after that. So, as far as shows, one show that was announced today is with LA Guns, and it's in Tulare, California. And I'm trying to read what the Spade Entertainment, and it's at the Adventist Health Amphitheater. That's pretty dope. We're all still playing kind of big gigs. I mean, amphitheaters are pretty sick. And Stephen Pearcy and LA Guns, that's a good time, man. That's definitely worth coming out to. Let me see here. Ticas. Unleashed in the East and the West. Yeah, we're worldwide, wide. I have we have a rat problem in here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Boop, 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 boop. Here's a story of a dude that just got bounced. Okay, got a little lost there, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so moving forward. This is Jay Lee. The new song is killer. Yeah, he's talking about the project. If you're on my Facebook, which it's public, you can go on there. But a couple weeks ago, shot some new videos with the project, and there's a song called Hope, and pretty cool video those guys pulled off for that, and everybody's really liking that song. The project doesn't have any bad songs, and Dennis Hill produced it, who's the guitarist. We have two singers in the band. We're kind of like the Eagles, you know what I mean? Everybody kind of sings a little bit in it, and our boy Jeff sings the song Hope, and he did a great job on the vocals. He's in the video, of course. And then, songs like Death of Me, that's Dennis Hill singing. And so it's cool to have two great singers in the band like that, we could branch out musically, and kind of reminds me of the Eagles. They were kind of the same way, right? They gave a little bit of rock, a little bit of country, a little bit of reggae, and it kept it fresh and exciting. Michelle B. Been a while since I was able to do the live with everyone. It's so nice to be here. Shelly, what's up? I'm so happy you're here tonight. Joey, hey, Uncle Eric. Am I your uncle? Did you get a DNA thing done? Spicoli, a little DLR? Well, if you insist. I always got some DLR for anybody who wants some. Everybody wants some. Yeah. David Carrasco. Yes, sir. I did send out your poster to you today. You guys are both, well, I don't want to give away what state you're from, but you're both from the same state. I'll leave it at that. And then only you two know where I mean. a little under the weather, so I'm just hanging tonight. Well, I hope you feel better. Um, let's see here. Black Phillip, what's up? Hey, everybody. Eric, I never asked, but could good old Phillip get a DLR scream? Yeah.
Sexy times.
You get a DLR scream and a sexy times. But yeah, I'm going to bounce all over the place. I was thinking that I should start my week with what's happened most recently and then go backwards because that's easier for a guy like me to remember. But as I was saying earlier, I did leave the house today, which was a big momentous occasion for me to leave here. But it was to go to the post office to just mail out some Frightbite posters. And it's been a minute since I've been to the post office. And they had when there's like a new person working at somewhere you go, whether it's the grocery store or the post office, you kind of notice when it's a new person there. And they had a super friendly guy, working there. And he almost reminded me like a John Candy type of character, the actor comedic actor John Candy, rest in peace. But he was just very like animated, and he was just joking with everybody. He was like, "Oh yeah, yo," and he was helping everybody with their packages and everything. And I was like, "Oh, how fun!" I was just thinking to myself how great it is to have jolly, happy people, at their jobs, having fun and making everybody feel good. I thought that was super great. I was probably like four people behind. There were four people in front of me doing their packages, and I was just kind of finishing my stuff up. Well, he was super nice to everybody, and then I get up there, and the dude couldn't have been more like monotone and just I don't know what it was, but he was like, anything fragile? I was like, no, I thought he was going to be all nice. He's like, is this the correct address? And he just like shows me the package. And I tried to make a joke because I have really bad penmanship. I'm all, yeah, my penmanship's really bad. Like I should have been a doctor, right? But and he was just not having it. But have you ever had that happen where they're nice to everybody, like a cashier, and then they get up to you and just act like you smell or something? That kind of happened to me today. Anyway.
Sexy times.
Now, one guy I have to give a big shout out to is Mike Kiner, and he's from Asphalt Ballet. If you're a rock fan and you want to give a shout out to Asphalt Ballet, they were a great band, and Mickey was the drummer back then, late 80s, early 90s, and then we were both in the band 13A, which was kind of a hardcore band, and in 1999 we won the Miller Genuine Draft Battle of the Bands. And I'll give you a taste of 13A because people don't realize that all the different kinds of music I've been involved in my life. And this kind of takes you back. Like we were in our 20s at the time, and of course more angsty and everything. Oh wait, I should take down Philip's thing here. So check this out. This is Dave Higbee made this video for us. That's Todd, our singer, and that's Jay. This guy here, you can't see where I'm pointing, but to the right of the screen, the guy with the guitar there is the guy when you hear the intro of the show for Walking with the Dead. He's the guy who's like singing that. Todd's not singing that, but Todd was like our professional yeller that we had, and Mike was the drummer. Christian was the bass player. The vocals should have come in sooner. Recognize the Les Paul? Yeah, you do. Anyways, so pretty crazy. Todd's scary. You don't want Todd yelling at you, man. But anyways, I have to give the drummer, Mike Kiner, a big shout out because he fixed the hard drives. Do you guys remember how like we're doing the Stephen Pearcy record and Stephen like asked for all these songs that I had that were like some were older, like going back even a decade, and they were all on this lacy hard drive that seemed to take a poop on me in the last couple weeks, and I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. And he's offered a couple times for me to come down to our old studio right by the Brick by Brick, here in San Diego, and he's still been here. I mean, we jammed there in the late '90s. We rehearsed there. We used to play the Brick by Brick all the time. We used to just like walk from the jam room in the alley, just like our whole posse. We'd walk, this big group of people, our whole fan base would just party at this place and then just walk into the Brick by Brick and we'd play. And it's so awesome that Mike is still there. And I see him like every couple of years or so. And we see each other online sometimes. But I finally took him up on it and I went down to our old studio and brought the hard drives, and he totally fixed them. He fixed both of them, and I got all this cool stuff off of them and was able to. He kind of saved the record because like half of the record is on there of songs that I need to deliver. So, Mike, thank you very much, and I'm gonna have to give you a big round of applause. Mike Kiner saved the new Stephen Pearcy record. So cool, so cool. Yep, keep the claps going. Keep the claps going. Spicoli's back to put more more going into the weed fund tonight. Man, am I gonna have to Spicoli you again, dude?
I
Come
know
on.
that, dude.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, let me get back into these comments here. What do we got? Thomas Bailey, pool time with Ron. What is, playa? Yeah. Oh, hey, Eternal Servant. Hello, and thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. Congrats on over 2,000 subscribers. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I hit 2,000 subscribers, which is I mean, it's a small milestone, but I think it's, the hardest thing is to get the first 1,000. So you could work towards getting your channel monetized as a YouTube creator. And then that second thousand's like not as hard, but kind of hard. Like it seems like you're going to hit it pretty quick, and then it just kind of stagnates, and you realize, oh man, I got to keep adding content to this. And I've been trying different stuff. I mean, I'm not a workaholic. One thing you're going to learn about me, I continue to work, but at a medium pace. But I've been, found that doing these Friday night lives was just a cool way to get a community going and talk to you guys, answer any questions burning questions you've had about me, and my live plan for Stephen Pearcy. I love talking about all the years, doing shows and records with him and all the cool bands we played with. And if you have stuff like that, ask in the chat and I'll get to it. And then I just, talk about whatever. You can ask me about pop culture or anything. I'll give you my opinions on stuff. This is the place to do it. It's kind of like we're just hanging at a backyard party here. And I just ask that you guys be cool and be kind to each other, man. That's it. Jason, I checked out the video. Very cool. They did a good job on that. Like, James Davis, it's his band, the project, but he got 2 videos out of us on the same day. It was we changed clothes or whatever, but I went up and then we did that video and we did another video that you'll see coming down the road. And they both came out really good. They had like drones and yeah, Dennis's daughter, Michael, was there and she was helping with the footage. Somehow they made it happen. It came out pretty damn good. It's getting nothing but good reviews today. So thank you everybody that did check it out. Appreciate it. Okay, this I can't do, man. No. That's where I feel like my life has just been like a weird psychological thriller movie that I've been living in the last couple months. Jim Martinez hanging out tonight. I'm pretty sure my buddy Rob and I are going to your Tolaire gig, brother. Oh, please do. And I did get your message, Jim, for your address because I do have a poster for you as well. And I was just kind of waiting to get that from you, and I'll send it out tomorrow. Speaking, I love talking about the Frightbite, but Did you guys see that Count Cracula like turned into a full-on werewolf the other night? I mean, it was at the end of the show, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but I don't know any podcasts that have like their live action people actually morphing into like other creatures on a live show. It was pretty cool. So check out Frightbite number 11. You can watch the replay on that. Cal Cracula full on turned into a werewolf, which is pretty crazy. And I do have to thank my good friend Robbie Maya, who's a sick artist, man. I've known Robbie like since I was a young teenager. He's been all through my life, and he's an amazing sculptor, and we've worked jobs together. And God, I worked at a bong factory with with Robbie once, where you're like molding all these different bongs and pipes and stuff, and then they have to go into a kiln, like piecework. He got me a job doing that. He had a job at a monster mask factory, which was pretty cool. Like so, I rented a room from him back in the '90s, and like the house had this like all these monster heads everywhere, just on down the hallways. I loved it. It was like one of those cool houses that always has Christmas lights on the whole year, and monster heads. It was like super sick. And he'd always be working on like some really awesome project. Like he'd be making like a life-size great white shark in the game room. It's like, anyways, so he was a perfect. I ran into him at a friend's birthday party recently, and he's a fan of the Frightbite, and he offered like props and stuff, or if we ever needed some help, and that was really sweet of him. So I did go over to his place, and he donated to the show. So we're kind of stepping up with our wardrobe and just cool stuff. But don't take my word for it. Let me take a break for our correspondent from Boo News up in Northern Ireland.
Good evening. This is Siobhan O'Ryan with a special news report. 2 suspects were spotted preying on innocent victims. The first suspect is known as Rathbone, was seen taking a dandy through villages, spying through flats. The second suspect, known as Tongueblood, is a singer fronting for various bands and is becoming notorious for biting the crowds at nightclubs. The following is exclusive footage of the suspects in action. Let's have a look. If either of these suspects pops in your village or local nightclub, please phone Garda at 4428-7777. This has been Siobhan O'Ryan. Stay safe, stay alert, and don't lay down straight away after a couple of pints of Guinness and takeaway. Back to you in studio. Are we done here? I need a massive bottle of Night Nurse and a bag of Pris. We're going to need it for the party tonight.
All right, Siobhan O'Ryan, everybody. Did you see the new villains? There's been a couple super vampires escaped from Dr. Von Brainscan's secret underground government laboratory. I guess it's Rathbone. I thought she said Rathburn, but Rathbone and Tongueblood. 2 more villains you can expect Dahlia Dark and Count Cracula to attempt to take back to the lab as per the orders of Dr. Von Brainscan. If you're not familiar with the Frightbite, there's a whole thing going on. There's side missions going on, if you will, and it's become a whole thing, guys, and it ain't gonna stop. What's some other funny stuff I pulled off that hard drive? I found an old Gothy Erik picture. Look at that. I was cool once. It's not like I think people like me more today than they did then. It's not like I looked cooler or more people liked me then. They still were just like, who's this guy? This is probably like 2007. They were just still like, you don't look like you belong in Stephen Pearcy's band. That's because they don't have vision, bro. Damn. Anyways, let me get back in the action with my peeps here, because it's kind of about you guys, mostly about you guys. It's half about me and then half about you. How about that? Okay. Thomas Bailey, Vince had a stroke and was partially paralyzed on one side of his body. Oh man, that's as long as like my brain still works 100%, I think I could be okay. I could deal with maybe a stroke. I'd still push on for a bit and try to rehabilitate. But yeah, for me, it's like quality of life, 100%. Like I'm not somebody that's gonna have to be like totally taken care of or something. I'll call for some like fentanyl to be delivered and have a little fent party or something. In the key of Steve. Then go away. I don't know. Yeah, I got rid of a couple people already. Yeah, there might be some. That's expected, guys. Come on. You know you're doing good, and people are digging you when they're shooting daggers. You know what I mean? If they don't, they just know. If nobody cares about you, that's so much worse, in a way. And I'm used to it. It doesn't really bother me. The DLR scream is great, says Steve McCutcheon. Do you want one? I got DLR screams for whoever wants them.
Danger is my business.
Okay, the rock and metal block. Hey Eric, what Ratt riff or song is the most fun? Excuse me, I'm all burping all over the place. We start over. Hey Eric, what Ratt riff or song is the most fun to play on guitar? Round and Round. Round and Round is the most fun song to play on guitar, without a doubt. And it makes everybody so happy. I mean, that's the one they're going to scream for the loudest. That's the one we got to play the last, right? For the most part. I think we did, when we were doing the Out of the Cellar record, I think we did, for a little bit, play Round and Round fourth or whatever. I can't remember exactly where it pops in on side one, but everybody was like shocked. They're like, oh, they did it. They played it early. Should we leave? Should we leave right now? Oh, no, I guess we'll stay for the rest of it. Okay. Delectric. I smacked the like button and you should too. Is that how you meant to say it? Or were you like, I smacked the like button and you should too? I never know how to read it. You know you wanna. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys smacking the like button. It's all good. 70s guy showing up. What's happening, 70s guy? Oh, and Jerome loves Disney. I'm always stoked with Jerome's in the hizzy. Hi, 70s guy, and hi, Skylar B. Cool. So, yeah, people are hitting the like button. Do you Spicoli, Weed Brother Films. Yep. You know it's good. You know it's good. Black Phillip. Eric, you should find a Gary Sharon Van Halen 3 era scream drop for when somebody lame happens or you gotta boot somebody. No, Gary Sharon's an awesome performer and singer. I mean, those guys they're a classic, man. Let me see. Jerome's new metal. Is that what you'd call it, Jerome? Yeah. I think looking back, 13A would have been pretty much new metal. Like right when I was in that band, I remember the Ozfest was like the big deal. At the time that was starting to, System of a Down and those bands were just coming out, and Slipknot. This was like 1999. So like Slipknot's first or second record was out. And the guys in my band loved that stuff. They definitely saw that things were going heavier, like more heavy than I probably would have normally gone. I was like, I loved like heavy industrial stuff, Nine Inch Nails and, stuff like that. But I didn't generally, when I was really young, of course, Metallica and Slayer and all that thrash metal and stuff. But I think as I got into like just smoking weed and just being a hippie guy, I like Jane's Addiction and those kind of bands. But these guys did the heavy thing, and it was fun to play that stuff. And Todd was good at it. He's like naturally really good at yelling. Some guys, they fake it. They're not faking it, but they're not really yelling. They're like, they're not really like, projecting. That's the word I'm looking for. They're not really projecting that much. And Todd's one of those guys. He's really yelling at you. And his voice he never lost his voice. He's I mean, I felt like we rehearsed like 4 or 5 nights a week at that place. Just we'd have an excuse to drink beers and party and hang out. And he would run the set once or twice, never have a problem. Guitar Matt, I loved Asphalt Ballet's first album. Yeah. And yeah, so there's a connection with me in that sense that I used to open up for Asphalt Ballet when I was in my band, but Mike and Julius, I continue to play songs with them. And one of the songs I brought in back in the 90s was the intro to this show, which is Walking with the Dead. I finally brought in one of my own songs because they wrote everything. Those guys are, Mike's young, Julius is a little older than me, but he was always one of the main songwriters. And so even though they let me play with them, they weren't like, what songs do you have? They just were covering the market with that. But Walking with the Dead, I remember I brought it to Mike. He was like, "Oh shit, I like that." So we still do that song. I don't know, it just suited the show when I was looking for a theme I could use for this that I wouldn't get in trouble monetarily or copyright or whatever. And I don't know. What do you guys think? It sounds punk rock. It's not super high quality, but I just like the vibe and just something I wrote a long time ago. But let's see. Singer making the Aussie face. Yeah. I mean, we could have been the next Drowning Pool, or we could have been the next, or we should have been like the Texas Hippie Coalition or something like that. We were a little ahead of our time, I think. But as I've said before, it was like one of those Bryan Adams song, Joey quit, Jesse got married, or I forgot what the words are exactly, the names, but it's just one of those things. Todd, he had a baby on the way. He ended up moving to North Carolina, and the band just kind of disbanded. Like we had won that Miller Genuine Draft thing, and then we just kind of went our separate ways. And it was what I got the gig with Steven, like literally right after that, like that next year. I had like maybe a year in between, and then got that gig with Steven, and I've just been doing that ever since. T-Cuss, bruh, LOL. I'm imagining what Buttheaded Beavis would say to those vocals. Yeah, back then too, it was almost like, the Screamo thing's been around since I was a teenager. That's the first time I ever heard it. Like, as I said, I was listening to thrash bands in the late 80s, but it was almost like a, what were they calling it? Like, not almost Muppet, kind of, stuff. That was the first time I heard it. It was like serious death metal. I guess you would call it, death metal. But the guitars were okay and everything. But I generally like people could sing at least a little bit. You know what I mean? And so it didn't speak to me. And back then, it was what it was. We weren't playing big shows. It was kind of like a small group of people that liked it, like maybe 100 people that would come see us play locally, but they loved it. And even when we do reunion shows like 20 years later, those same 100 people will totally show up to the show today. So if we almost were going to do another reunion show, Stoney Jackson 13A reunion, let's go. Yeah, they gave me a date here in San Diego recently. I was going to announce it, and then something fell through. So oh well, happens. Brian Ekula, big death metal show tonight at the Brick by Brick. Is there? That's cool. Yeah, it takes me back. Even when I went to go see Mike the other day, I got to literally pull up in front of Brick by Brick to get to his place, and it's just memories. You know what I mean? Stephenpearcy played that place when it was called The Spirit back in the late 1970s. This place has been there definitely the whole time I've lived in California. And, I played one of the first probably shows when it was called Brick by Brick. And I remember the band I was in, Voodoo, sold it out. And back then, if you sold the club out, they would give you a brick on the wall, and you'd have your little spot for a brick. But I don't even know if they do that. I don't think they do that anymore. But yeah. So Olivia, Eric, you look the same in the video. Fabulous genetics. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I kind of was showing that because I mentioned, when people give me crap about my hair or whatever, I'm like, I've had the same hairdo for like 30 years. You're not exposing me to anybody. James, were you able to get Metallica tickets this week? I'm priced out of Metallica unless somebody has hookups that they were giving me as a friend. Like, there's no way I would spend that kind of money to see anybody. But I've seen all the good Metallica shows. I was at Monsters of Rock at the LA Coliseum, Master Puppets like era, and I also saw the Justice tour at Irvine Meadows, and that's one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. Was the Metallica and Justice for All tour. It was like the end of an era right then, and anybody from L.A. or Southern California that was at that show knows what I was talking about. It was just super dope time that we had. Jeff, I have to say, Eric is doing very well, especially for only 2,000 subscribers. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I mean, definitely getting some great views, and I appreciate you guys that talk about me and share the videos. And I'll start doing some tour stuff coming up. I mean, I'm taking a little break from that till April, till the shows, but starting in April, there's going to be like 5 or 6 tour vlogs that I'm going to do with Pump 5, stephenpearcy, and I don't know if the project is going to have a show in April, but anyways, it's all good. Marsha B, tuna fun for Kylie and Charlie on me. Oh, thank you. Marsha, if you follow her on Facebook, she has so many cool animals and cares for so many animals around her place, and I'm trying to get her and her son to get their own channel going, because it's just interesting, all the life they have around their place. But she really does a lot for them in the wintertime, especially when it's cold and these birds and everything have to work so much harder to survive. And she does everything she can to make sure they have water and food, and she feeds like cats from the neighborhood. And I like people like that go out of their way for animals. Joel, I was at Coyotes in Louisville when you had the dust up. Love Pierce. Oh my God. Louisville, was that when I got strangled? That was a long time ago. Yeah, like if that's got to be what you're talking about. I thought that was at Clicks. No, it was Coyotes. Yeah, this like we went back in. This was like I was in the band for maybe a year or two, and we had a tour bus at the time, and we were playing this place in Kentucky, in Louisville. It was like a big. Sometimes they have these big cowboy bars. They're just these huge bars that they cram like a ton of people into, and they got pool tables, whatever. And after the show was fun, and afterwards we went back in to like talk to the people, have like a little impromptu, meet and greet over by the bar. And I decided to like put a beanie on when I went back in, just not to draw as much attention to myself, but be accessible to people. And I didn't know that like in the South, some of these places, they like have rules that they might not have in other parts of the country. And apparently this place had a rule, which was no beanies in the club or something, which I didn't know about. Well, this roided out like bouncer storms over, like while we're taking pictures with fans and stuff, and he just comes over and just grabs the beanie off my head, just throws it on the ground. And he's like, no beanies in the club. And I was just like, man, that was a weird flex. And, I thought, oh, he must not know I'm in the band, So I like pick up my beanie and I'm like, and I go to put it back on. And I go, you didn't have to do that. And I like went to like point to the stage to go like, I just played. And the guy just like, he just acted like he wasn't interested when I had to say, when I go, and as he acts like he's walking past me, like, he just full blown just clotheslines me and he tries to put me in a sleeper hold, basically, which are illegal, I think. But anyways, at the time I probably weighed like 170 pounds. This guy was probably like 300 pounds. And I just remember I was like, is this happening right now? He had his arm, and his arm was huge. I was like, and I remember I was just like hanging on the guy's arm, like with all my weight. Like I didn't even know what to do. I was thinking in my head, well, should I try to kick him or do like something out of the movies to get out of this? Or I've heard different things they say to do, like just let go and fall with all your weight. Or, I mean, this guy's like trying to tear my head off basically. And I remember I kind of looked over, and this other bouncer came over. I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy will be the voice of reason that tells his buddy that I'm in the band. And nope, that guy picks up my feet, and now two guys are like pulling me out. And I remember I was like reaching for people as I was like being dragged. I'm like, help me. And Frankie, everybody, and finally everybody like kind of ran over, like, what are you doing? He's the guy, you know. And this dude was so mad that he had to stop kicking my ass. He just like threw me on the ground, and it was a whole thing. Like, I know I went back to the bus, and Steven was all pissed off, and the owner came out, and we're like, what the hell's up with this? And the owner's like, F you. Like, he didn't care. And that's when I realized, hey man, this is like the Dukes of Hazzard or something. Like, you're not like in California anymore. You know what I mean? Like, these people that run these establishments, they're like totally connected in the town. And like, it just doesn't mean because you can't be a Karen or a Chad in these situations. You know what I mean? They don't care. You know what I mean? Like, and I kind of learned that. And again, I'm not somebody to go like suing places or whatever, but he did kind of jack my neck up for a bit. My neck was pretty stiff for a little while, but I think that's the dust up he's talking about. And that was like 23 years ago. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that sketches you out. Pool time. I'm at that point, hit 412 subs, but I will hit 1,000. You got to pool time. Is that the name of your channel, Ron? Is that at your YouTube channel, Pool Time with Ron? Well, everybody give Ron a sub out of love. Whew. Snoop Van Poop. Can't wait to have you on my podcast, dude. Oh, well, awesome. Yeah, let me know. Hit me up. I'm down. In the key of Steve. 2G is no slouch subs. Well, I really just kind of 4 months ago, the channel only had 100 people, and I go, you know what? I'm reactivating this channel because at least it had 100 as opposed to starting with 0. And it used to be called MickeyRapMadness.tv. I don't know if any of you were subbed when I only had the 100 people and a couple Pearcy videos on there, but thank you if you're still here. Because that ain't working. Play the guitar on the MTV. Oh, I'll match it, Spicoli. Right on. You guys are just too nice. Too nice. Thomas, sometimes an obscure Ratt song will pop in my head from nowhere, like City to City. Think from Reach for the Sky album. Not sure. It was filler, really. Yeah, I had Reach for the Sky because a friend of mine like left the tape at my house. I think it was my friend Travis's tape, and I listened to it because I didn't have a lot of music to listen to. And yeah, I mean the times they were a changing, by the time that came out. But it's still a pretty solid album. I mean, all the songs are pretty good. I always thought City to City is like a totally awesome song. Kyle Pokey Porter. I'm so looking at the real Erik or the Jim Carrey version. Man, yeah, I kind of is the truth come to light that wasn't Jim Carrey, that he was playing some kind of joke or it was somebody in a mask? I mean, when it comes to seeing something on television with CGI and everything, it's like it's game over. There's no way of knowing. In person, they do have pretty dope masks out there that are pretty convincing. And I would like to obtain some for the Frightbite. Oh, yeah, okay, I just read that. Hello. I guess what am I doing here? Steel Corner, even Erik, great news on those drives. Hell yeah, it was great news. Oh, I couldn't believe it because the thought of having to like recreate all those songs for Steven. He just sent me another one the other night at like I go to bed at night usually. I go to bed early, but he was texting me like 10 o'clock at night, and he sent a song. He changes the titles right away too. Like first thing he does is change my working title to something else, and he's like, "This song, do this one." He wants to do this one now at Matt's, and I was like, listen to it. I'm like, oh man, it's one of those that's on that drive. And but I'm so stoked because I got him. I spent all day today rescuing songs. I've written so many compositions that I've totally just forgotten about, just completely forgotten about. And this drive had like probably a decade worth of music on it, that has a value. I mean, not right now, not in its current state. It has zero value in its current state. But once I take it up to Pearcy's and with Matt, we get it going. Then it's a record that gets sold and streamed and all these things, and it does become a commodity of sorts. Oh, maybe I won't take that far, but Black Phillip, 13/8 sound, so effing sick, Eric. Heavy cold chamber static X forms upon first listen. Excellent. Yeah, no digital, no machine. It's on YouTube. You could find it on there. And that's how those guys were. They were really, as the digital age was coming closer, they were like, no man, no digital, no machines. But now I think they've softened up to it. I mean, we all have machines. And we're all in the digital world. Okay, Zachary, was there a conscious effort to make View to a Thrill sound more like a Ratt album? It's definitely got a more 80s sound than Smash. Yeah, I didn't have too much time to write that one, but I definitely was pumped. Like, after Smash was kind of well received and we had that deal, I did want to give them a little bit more of what they probably were expecting. So some of the songs do sound more like Ratt. But I don't know. I mean, people have asked me how this new Pearcy record's going to be, and it is a little eclectic. It's not one dimensional by any stretch. Tim Shaw, what guitarist influenced you? Have you ever met Michael Schenker? And what are your thoughts on him as a player? Michael Schenker's freaking incredible. And, Warren DeMartini is a huge fan of Michael Schenker. And how cool is it when you have a guitar hero like that and then they get to join your band for a tour? And in 1991, I believe, Robin Crosby had left the Ratt and Michael Schenker came on board. And so he was doing that summer tour with Ratt. And I knew Steven at that point. So when they played Irvine Meadows, I was probably like, I don't know, 17 or something. And I went up there and got to meet him. I remember he was like backstage and he had some big like Italian sub. It was like super greasy. And he it was like grease running down his hand. He switched hands. I was like, hey, good to meet you. And he was like, yeah. And he just kind of like, he went to hand me like a greasy hand. I was like, that's okay. It's cool to me. But no, I've got to see Michael Schenker play. He was on, I think I was the 80s cruise or the last Monsters of Rock, one of the last cruises I was on. Totally got to see the show. He's incredible, man. I love MSG, Michael Schenker. But to answer your question, it depends. I mean, I had a lot of influences. Early influences were like records my parents had, like Jimi Hendrix and Robbie Krieger from the Doors. I loved all that music. Lindsey Buckingham, Fleetwood Mac. Then I discovered Journey, and Neil Sean's like, I loved his guitar solos. They were just like the perfect amount of gain and melody and panache on everything. And so yeah, I liked guitarists like that. I obviously loved all the West Coast guys. Warren, Jake, George Lynch, Eddie Van Halen was, of course, Angus Young. I didn't have access to too much music, but those bands I had access to. They were on the radio all the time, but loved all those guitarists and just listened to it so much. It's not like I even had to like learn their music. Sometimes when you listen to that stuff, it seeps in through osmosis or something over time, and you find yourself playing riffs like those guys. I think you asked me about the Metallica tickets. Let me see. Good shot, Jansen. Cal Cracula is quite funny. Thank you. Yeah, he's kind of evolved a little bit. He was like, he has a Hair Club for Vampires wig going that he's been rocking. He's kind of got a whole new look this year, but it's more better received, I guess you'd say. And he's kind of stepped up his look. He got rid of like the stupid Dracula cape and hood, and now he's just kind of like going more like who's the guy who poisoned everybody with the Kool-Aid? I was like, he's kind of like that guy. In the key of Steve, is that boo or boob? Right? Yeah, you're gonna have to get a
Sexy times.
It is boo, like boo. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of cute. we are a comedy show, but it's crazy how quick all of a sudden, like nobody cared about the Frightbite, and now everybody loves it. Splon Guitars in the house. Yes. They make great guitars. Check out splonguitars.com and you can see for yourself. And of course, they make awesome amplifiers, which I've been playing for decades. And yeah, good stuff. Let's see, Ace. What's your take on Sebastian Bach singing for Twisted Sister? Well, he definitely has the pipes to do it. I think at this point, it's like Dancing with the Stars. You know what I mean? Like whatever they can do to kind of drum up some attention, and keep it going, and just entertain. It's all about entertainment first and foremost. And I think that would be entertaining to see him doing Twisted Sister songs. I don't get angry about it. I don't think it's. I'm speculating, of course, but I don't think it's something that's serious. You know what I mean? So Sebastian's booked solid till like the end of the year doing solo gigs. Big time entertainment. Book Sebastian if you're interested. But he's busy. I think it's probably like a small run of shows. I don't even know. Do you guys know how many shows are booked? Probably not a lot. Let me see here. Spicoli, anyone cool stop by the studio? Yeah, there has been cool people that have stopped by the studio. I don't know if Steven has mentioned them yet, or if it's his record, so it's kind of his story. I mean, I don't want to give it away yet, but there's probably like 3 or 4 guitarists that do some stuff on it. Guitar Matt, Nobody Rides for Free is my favorite to play, or Giving Yourself Away. Yeah. Giving Yourself Away is a good song. I did a punk rock version of Giving Yourself Away once. That was kind of fun. It's kind of like just upbeat, Cemetery Gates, The Mints, currently in the bowl. All right. Thin Mints. Oh, like Girl Scout cookies? Or did you save those? Because it's not really Girl Scout cookie season right now, is it? Are you like the kind of guy who puts like your freezer's just stocked with Thin Mints from the summer? That is my favorite. Actually, you know which one I've grown to like as far as Girl Scout cookies goes? Are those, are they Samoans? The ones that have the coconut with the chocolate and the cookie? Samoas, maybe? Samoas, I think. Those are Samoas and Thin Mints. What about you guys? What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie? Inquiring minds want to know. Cemetery Gates, Flotsam and Jetsam. I used to like Flotsam and Jetsam. And yeah, that's where Jason Newsted came out of that band when he joined Metallica. Skylar, I like the idea of Bach fronting Twisted Sister. Yeah, it's just fun, man. I mean, technically they did, end. So, if they're going to do something else, it's got to be a little different. But it does, I feel bad for D that he can't, because he was so energetic, that guy. And I would have thought he would be out doing that stuff till he was 90. So that's a bummer. You guys coming to Minnesota this year? Maybe Hinckley as a drummer. I'm hoping to see Bloss with the band. Yeah, it's a sight to behold. No, he's really fun to watch play for sure. He always puts on a great show. Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Pearcy DiMartini. God, this guy gets to play in all the bands. He's the lucky guy. What can we say? Hello from Columbia, South Carolina. All right. Thomas Bailey, I love Spandau Ballet back in the 80s. Woohoo, good times. Yeah. Well, Spandau Ballet did the ha 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 ha. That much is true. And we all were like dancing with our first dance with our girlfriends, right? What was the first slow dance you got? What was the song you guys did your first slow dance with someone of the? It could be the same sex. I'm not gonna pigeonhole you guys because I know we have an eclectic bunch here at the Hangouts. But whatever. With another person where you were like, kind of having a somewhat romantic slow dance. For me, it was a 6th grade party. It was 6th grade, and a classmate of mine, Tammy, it was like her birthday, and I don't know how old we were, like 12 maybe, and she had a little like party at her house, and I was lucky enough to get invited to it. And I remember I put on some like some chaps cologne, right? And have my sweater on, try to look kind of preppy, 80s preppy or whatever. And I was super nervous, but I was like, you're just like a young teen, and yeah, your hormones are going nuts at the same time, right? But anyways, I remember the songs that were happening right then were like a Culture Club and Duran Duran. I think the song Save a Prayer, I want to say Save a Prayer from Duran Duran was the first song where I finally got the girl and was dancing with her. I think she was taller than me too, which was kind of funny. And she had like she was wearing like, her dress seemed kind of like a lot of wool, or I don't know. My hand was sweating, man. I just remember I had my hand on like her lower back, and we're just, luckily, as I didn't know how to dance, but nobody could mess up a slow dance, right? If you're gonna dance, go for the slow dance. And but my hands were just super sweaty on her back. I was pretty nervous. How about you guys? What was the song? Do you remember? Anyways. Okay, Cemetery Gates. Best vocalist out there, in my opinion, is Todd Latour of Queensryche. His solo rips also. Todd is one of the most talented guys out there, and I'm not envious of it, but it's something I admire about him. Is that the dude plays guitar, he plays drums. I mean, there isn't anything Todd Latour doesn't do, but he's done a fantastic job with Queensryche. But let's face it, Jeff Tate is also out there putting on great shows, and people are having great times at his concerts. And you know what? What's the harm in that? People are seeing both. They're going to both of them and having a good time. So yeah, Cemetery Gates, THC. Well, Texas Hippie Coalition, right? There's going to be some shows I'm doing with Texas Hippie Coalition with Pump 5. And I'll real quick find those for you guys. One bummer is the first show I was supposed to do in April got canceled because the guy in Colorado got stage 4 cancer and the doors closed on the place, which sucks. Feel bad for that dude. But let me pull up these dates really quick. Okay, so starting on April 9th, we'll be in Kansas City, Missouri at Knuckleheads. THC with Pump 5. And then the next day at the Cotillion in Wichita, Kansas. And then on the 11th, the Local Hotel in Leavenworth, Kansas. And then on 4/13, I guess we're going to stay in town and do a tribute to Mama Ruth in Leavenworth, Kansas. So, yeah, we're just in Kansas. I don't know. So we're not going to Colorado first. We're going, I don't even know what the logistics are in that, but I told those guys I would just roll with them, and I'm going to do a tour vlog for it. So it should be interesting. And then the Pearcy shows start firing up at the end of the month, and lots of cool stuff. So hang with me, and you'll get it all, baby. The production was a little crappy, but y'all were going for it. That fast-ass tempo. Maybe Crank was involved. Maybe Thomas Bailey. No Crank. It was just, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what those guys recorded that on. I didn't, that's not even me playing guitar on it. I had, like, joined the band right after their Retro Engine album came out or whatever, and I just replaced a mutual friend on guitar. It was one of those situations where I really wasn't doing anything anyway, and you have some friends that are like, hey man, you want to play in our heavy band and play shows and party? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they did a video, and it happens. Like when you're a musician, you'll get into these situations where you got to star in a video where maybe you didn't play on the record, but they put you in the video. I mean, Quiet Riot, that happened, right? Rudy Sarzo is not the guy playing on the song. It's on Metal Health. It's actually Chuck Wright, which he'll definitely correct you on if you're no, I love Chuck. But no, it's Chuck Wright's playing bass on that, but Rudy got in the video. Is he going to say no? No, he was in it and he did a great job, and it became an iconic video. Cinder Fox, is the Pearcy record going to be a double album? How many songs? I know, like, I think he should just make a couple albums right now. You know what I mean? Usually if he does sign a deal, they're going to want 2 or 3 albums anyway, and we should just go. We should just do it now because we have all these tunes, and I have so much fun going up there, being in the studio, and I'd go up every day for 6 months if I could. Betty Davis, Do you like playing Way Cool Jr.? Do you like the song? Yeah, I love playing Way Cool Jr. Love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favorite songs to play of the night. Stoney Jackson, To Be Continued. Brilliant. Yeah, you're talking about this, right? That had a really freaky ending there at the end. Yeah, I think Tuesday is going to be a pretty crazy fright bite, so you don't want to miss it. 6 p.m. Pacific. Dahlia Dark, Count Cracula. Spicoli, Asphalt Ballet, Nothing to Do About Anything is a great song. Yep. Loop, Eric, what's up? Thanks for carrying the rap flag high all these years. F yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just happy Steven keeps me in the loop, man. There's plenty of times where I was like, all right, I'm going to go do my own thing. And then he's like, no, no, you don't. Come on, we got stuff to do. So I don't know. It's kind of like after so many years, it's kind of a family affair of sorts. And you know, as some people mention that, like, yeah, I don't really even consider myself to be a scab. You're not a scab if you've been in the band for 25 years, guys. And you're not a scab if you make the albums and write the albums and stuff. So I did my time. You can't call me a scab. I don't know what the cutoff is for that, like where you are a scab. I would say you're a scab for at least the first 12 years. I'm joking, of course. I don't know. Thomas Bailey, Metallica Justice album is my fave from them. A little progressive, longer tunes, but a lot of heavy riffs and subjects. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with making songs that long today. But yeah, it was the last of the adventurous like Metallica. And of course, the Black Album's awesome and has some, amazing songs on it. But for me, looking back, I think I was about 18 when it came out. And I just hated that all the 30 and over people liked it. It was like, what? That's our band. You can't have that. And that just made me mad. I was like, "Ugh, you can have them." And then I never went and saw them again after. It's terrible. They probably hate fans like me. But I still love the guys. And like when they have new music out, I applaud it. One of the last things I like was that Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I thought that was a really cool song when they had it. Thomas Bailey, I saw a program on PBS. See who runs the Hummingbird Rescue. Help them mend their wing. Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Took them from a sunroof or whatever. It was cool. I'm okay with seeing animals get rescued, but God, it starts to bum me out if I'm scrolling and see any animal in trouble or I don't need to see animals in the wild killing each other. I just want to pretend that they all just eat McDonald's or something. I don't know. A flock of seagulls, shades fading. Flock of seagulls rule. Yeah, I got to jam with Mike Score from the Flock of Seagulls. I've run into him a couple times, and then there was one private event where I got to play like 4 songs, Flock of Seagulls songs, with him and a backup band, and that was kind of cool. But he's a really great guy, and we had a mutual friend, and he was visiting her. He had like gone down to Mexico for the day and bought like all these sombreros and hats and stuff, and then he came back and we were at this house and he made us all put on these sombreros to do like a photo shoot just for his friends. And, it was kind of interesting, but I was just a very kind, talented guy that had a great vision. That band was very like the band of the future, right? They had that futuristic 80s sound. Pool time. Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Paula, like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you. I don't like when you don't like and you unsubscribe. I always see that too. There's like always a couple. It seems like after every fright bite, like a couple people might. I don't know what that is. Those could be like actually bad people that just leave and then come back just to disrupt my show. I kind of figured that out because it's always like the same number. That's those same 5 people. Probably they like just subscribe again so they could talk crap on the next Tuesday, which is sad. Get a life. Come on. Art Bell, unfair that Eric gets only $100 per year from YouTube for all the songs he has written. I like inside info on the biz. No, I mean, if you're talking about like publishing, I mean, we haven't put out a Pearcy record in the last 5 years or something, but my BMI, I looked at my year-end like statement for the year was like less than $60 for the whole 2025. I made more tonight just from you guys on there, but that's the world we're living in. It's with the streams, and they rip off the artists, and until legally somebody steps in and goes, this ain't right, and does something about it. But that's okay. I mean, I'm a survivor. I pivot. I enjoy doing these hangs with you guys, and I'm starting to make. He said that wrong. I make more off of YouTube than I make more than that in a month, but I'm not. It's kind of starting to go. But anybody who has a channel that has subscribers like mine, you probably know you don't make that much money off this a month, a couple $100, but it definitely covers like StreamYard and things I got to do. I have little programs I use to make the thumbnails, like Canva, and I use CapCut to do a lot of the special effects for Frightbite. So these are like apps and stuff I got to pay for every month. And then there's the new computer. But it's all good stuff. It's like you got to invest in yourself, man. No matter what business you have going, you got to keep investing in yourself and stay up to date. And that was going to be my responsibility anyway. But I'm super stoked that people love the show and like to chip in and make sure it keeps going. So thank you. Jody Jewell. Hello, Eric. I'll be at the California show in May. I can't wait. Sorry if this has been covered, but who will be playing guitar with you? See you soon. We're just to keep from having people talk about it too much beforehand. We just want to surprise everybody when we come out, and you'll see. And I'll do like I said, I'll do a tour vlog for it, so you'll get a little behind the scenes. I mean, it's not going to be looking up the guy's nose or whatever. Hey, what kind of boogers do you have, new guitar guy? You know what I mean? But Already Dead. I love listening to B-sides, especially Ratt. Yeah, you can't go wrong. But I think everybody agrees that Out of the Cellar is the best full album listen. But Invasion of Privacy also they were still so on top of their game at that point. Love Michael Schenker anytime and give me your love. Hell yeah, dude. FF rocks. He's so great. Yeah. Definitely if you're a guitarist, you got to check out some Schenker. T-Cuz, Under the Radar, MSG record, The Unforgiven with Kelly Keeling on vocals from Night Ranger. That's cool. Just effing killer, melodic hard rock songs, my personal favorite of his. Hell yeah. Well, alrighty then. Eternal Servant. Matt Thorne reminds me of the assassin. He is, I do picture Matt as kind of an assassin of sorts. I always kind of, I fantasize about making a video, and like, I want to always do one of those videos like we're part of some CIA team kind of deal, where we're carrying around handcuffed suitcases and stuff, and Matt would be the guy that like has everything wired to explode, and it has the suitcase with the button and the thingy. I don't know. He's cool like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's see. Art Bell. All the Eric live chat shows are good. Ever fresh content. Well, I mean, this is easy to do these guys on Fridays. I don't put too much into it. It's just like turn on the camera and hang out. But, keeps the content coming, and then the stuff that takes longer, you guys don't get so mad if you have to wait for it. Like Yacht Rock, but if I listen to it too much, I start to feel bummed out, dude. I like more upbeat shit because I'm an upbeat kind of dude. Yeah, it's all whatever. Okay, so Thin Mints and Samoas for Paula too. That's my jam for Girl Scout cookies. Thomas Bailey, I heard Dee Snider has been having a little heart issues, probably brought on by the you know what, and he didn't feel like he could perform at a high enough level, so he bowed out. Yeah, it's scary to have any kind of heart issue going on. Dee Snider's at a point in his career where he could take it easy. You know what I mean? When I had my heart attack, that wasn't an option. You know what I mean? I had rent bill, I had rent due, I had bills due, and I had to get back on. 2 weeks later, I was back on stage, and if I was going to die doing it, I was going to die doing it, but I really did not have a choice. Eternal Servant. Matt Thorne reminds me of The Assassin in Wild Target, starring Emily Blunt. dressed in suits and cool demeanor. Yeah, I can dig that. I'm gonna have to watch that movie, Wild Target. Who else is Emily Blunt? And is she like an assassin in it, or is there? There's a guy that looks like Matt that's an assassin. I guess we'll have to check it out. Steel Corner, we're gonna play La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's close, June 13th. We'll come check it out. The Rock and Metal Block would love for Pearcy to come to Portland, Oregon at some point. Last time I saw him, he was live with Ratt in '84. Yeah, we've played Oregon, here and there. We don't get up there that often, but we have. And it's always, I have a good time. Okay. Oh, J-Rad. What's up, J-Rad? I'm late, but I'm here. Hail and kill, everyone. Well, hail and kill to you too. Thomas Bale Spat Up LA was lame. I was being sarcastic. Oh, come on. That song's good. Do you really hate him? I mean, I only know that one song. Paula. Paula's first slow dance in middle school was Rod Stewart's Maggie May. Yeah, see, that's interesting because, I mean, that song's like kind of like about an older woman, right? With a younger guy. Is that correct? I don't know. It just seems like a weird song that a young person would listen to. It'd be hard to relate to it. Guitar Matt, first slow dance. I won't forget you, babe. I won't forget you. In sixth grade. Yeah, that was a good song. I did buy the Poison record when I was young. It had too many cool songs. I liked how fun it was. Like Talk Dirty to Me. I thought it was hilarious. I was probably only like 15 or something when it came out, and I just thought it was so funny. I'm like, I have to have that. Like anything that had like a sexual innuendo, I just had to have it. Thomas Bailey, probably Chicago. Peter Cetera, you're a hard habit to break. Yeah, I was over Chicago by that point. Except for what was the one '80s movie? Oh no, they didn't do the song anyway. Diamond. Hi, Eric from Australia. Well, thank you for the hearts from Australia. Appreciate it. Oh, Unique's here. What? Hi, guys. What's up, Unique? Thanks for joining us tonight. Always happy to see your pretty face. You know it. I'm even going to do this for you.
Yeah, pretty princess.
You're a pretty princess.
Wasn't she pretty princess?
You know it. Yeah, Unique's our other pretty princess. Best rat riff ever? Lay it down. Anyone disagree? Well, I think Warren would agree with you. He thinks I've heard, it's hearsay, of course, but I've heard through the grapevine that that's his most proud of riff that he's done, and that's if he had to say one, I think he's going to say that one. I could be wrong. He could prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard that from one of our guys. Jerome loves Disney. Eric, I'm a bit suspicious of this new viewer that joins Frightbite. Yeah, they're banned. They're banned, Jerome. That was a creepy person, and you're very intuitive to pick that up. But yeah, that person's not welcome here anymore. They're very strange and bad. Yep. No, I picked up on everything you're saying, bud. It's very scary. That's why I said it's like I'm living in a psychological thriller movie or something, and then like people try to sneak in and say weird stuff that's just weird. But I don't know. I'll still sleep fine tonight. Lizzie, first slow dance, couples skate 5th grade, babe from Styx. Nice. Because it's you, babe. Yeah. My mom, that was like she when I was a little kid, she loved that song. My mom would think of me. Anyway, said I would give her strength. That's so sweet. Thanks, Mom. Tommy Carmichael, what's up, Eric? Have you ever played the Splon Nitro amp? Curious what you think of it. I have when we played in Newton, North Carolina, which is right near where the Splon place is. They brought me one of those, but I had all my effects in my Tonex pedal that I bring to the typical flyouts where I can't bring my amps, and they usually just have Marshalls or whatever. So I was going through the effects loop in the back, so I wasn't really getting the full Nitro thing. But depending on the kind of music you play, could be the perfect amp for you. When it comes to splons, I like the quick rod. Kind of suits the '80s rock. I like a mid range kind of amp. Where the nitro, if I'm not mistaken, is more for if you got like the bottom endy kind of vibe. But it also has a lot of switches on it to do other stuff. Maybe you play, heavy music with 7 strings or extended range guitars. That's probably a better amp. But they're here tonight. We should ask Splon what they recommend. But I'm pretty sure they'll tell you if you're doing like '80s rock, they would probably tell you to get a quick rod. But head over to splonguitars.com and go see what you think of their amps. They got so many cool ones and guitars. Let's see. That's somebody's got Jerome. I saw the comment too. Yeah, I mean, you guys know the person that played that character was arrested, right? Um, Anyways, Thomas Bailey, Karate Kid 2 had a little of Peter Cetera's songs, Glory of Love. Yeah, it was the St. Elmo's Fire. Is that the one I'm thinking that had a song by Chicago in it? Thomas Bailey, every time you go away by some guy, you take a piece of me. Every time you go away, do, you take a piece of me with you. Flocka, locka, locka, da. Yeah, those were like songs that when I was a kid, they were just on all the time. And I don't know, you're just kind of zoning out in the car, or your parents are having it on or whatever. Like it was so mellow, right? Dong gong ging gong dong bow dong 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 bong bong. It's so mellow. Okay. Okay. Is that a rock and roll star? 82. I saw you with Pearcy in December of 23 in Knoxville. Killer show. Awesome. Well, thanks for supporting Steven and coming out. Always appreciated. You guys and these love songs. Oh man, I dig it all. I appreciate any hit song. Let's see. Oh man, you're. Hey Eric, guitar question. How evolved is your live guitar rig? Do you use simple pedals on the floor straight into your amp? For the longest time, I was such a straight in guy. I had like probably for the first 12 years I was in the band, I just had a tuner and that's it. I would just plug straight in the amp and not give a crap. Then I started bringing some Boss pedals. I would have like some delay and chorus and like 3 pedals. Currently, to answer your question, I got a pretty streamlined setup where I got the Tonex pedal and I have my Shure wireless, which is that guitar wireless for your to have wireless guitar, and it's also acts as a tuner, and it's really good. I have to say that thing, the new one they have, really holds up, and that's the 2 things I got. That Tone X pedal that's got the 3 buttons on it, and the Shure thing, and that's it. That's all I kind of need. I can fly out, just go right into the effects loop from that pedal into an amp. I do like having an amp on stage. I think the crowd likes it too. You guys have been to shows where they don't use amps on stage. It's weird, right? You don't hear it right. I like to get blasted by the band. I don't know. That's just me. Um, I'll get into the answer to the questions here. Uh, Paul is like, you asked what our first dance was. We can't help them, but the damn school, the DJ played it right. Anyways, yeah. So anyway, that was a cool hang, guys. I gotta, of course, get dinner rolling for me and Susan over there, but I want to make sure everybody makes it to the Frightbite on Tuesday for Dahlia Dark and Count Cracula. Oh, you know what? I gotta say hi to, just wait. Was that Stephen Michaels? Hold on. Just wrapped up our live guitar podcast. Wanted to catch your live show, my guy. Stephen Michaels is an awesome guitarist. Check out his Facebook. What is your... I forgot. Tell me before I get out of here really quick. Type down what your channel is, Stephen. And I'll send people over there. Because he's a killer guitarist. And you can watch him playing all kinds of cool songs he grew up listening to. He's plays all kinds of stuff. John Parr sang St. Elmo's Fire. Yeah, I know, but wasn't there a Chicago song in the movie also? But yes, I was thinking of St. Elmo's Fire as you just brought up. Brooke X wants. Oh shit, Brooke, I just deleted your comment by accident. And I totally didn't mean to. I was trying to showcase it. You're not deleted or anything from the chat. I'm so sorry about that. I was trying to showcase it, but she said, "Have a good night, everybody." Thank you, Brooke. My bad. Leave another comment, Brooke. I'll read it. And anyway, Steve will leave it in the comments as far as Stephen Michaels' website. But yeah, that's about all I got for you guys tonight, man. Good hang, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. Check out the new video, Hope, from The Project on YouTube, and also the Death of Me video from The Project is up there. And Pump 5, subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. I'm going to give you guys a couple of... I'm going to give you a Roth scream before I go. I'm going to give you a Sexy Times before I go.
Sexy times.
I'm going to do some butt bongos. I'm playing bongos on your butt. I play butt bongos for you. Yeah, we're done. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Be cool, be kind to each other. I'll see